Hello, everybody. My name is Lisa Lamont, and I am your host of Ladies Get Your Prance On. And every week I bring a new guest in the house, and sometimes I'm fortunate enough to bring back a guest that all of you love. And I'm telling you that my guest today is Jody Harris, and she is the CEO of Jody Harris, Inc., and she's going to be explaining, like, she has tons and tons of venues and funnels and businesses that she's going to be sharing with you today. So welcome, Jody.
Hey, Lisa, thank you so much. I love being on your show. Well, I mean, come on, you're the Barbara Walters of the internet. You're amazing.
Well, I love to be able to have the opportunity to interview women like yourself, and I interview men too. You know, I do. I don't want to leave the men out. So I just want, so first of all, share with us where you're at, because you're not in your home right now. So what are you up to these days?
You know, I'm on the road, and what is so great about what I'm doing is I can do it anywhere. I'm in a hotel. I'm out in the middle of Oklahoma. I'm in a hotel. We got things going on this weekend. As you know, I'm part of a competition barbecue team. We have a huge competition. So we came over last night. I'm all set up. I have another desk over here on the other side of the suite and just working. And I'm loving it. Oh, and guess what? I went out and met with a couple of great boutiques here in this amazing town, Enid, Oklahoma. But they actually carry my product. So I was able to go out and visit with them. You know, I'm really seeing a world tour of me going around and visiting with everybody who carries my product.
I am telling you. So for the few people who may not know who you are, because I'm sharing this venue in a lot of new groups. So if you can just kind of explain, you have all the time in the world to explain your different companies, your favorite to-dos, and also I would love to have you share, because one of the people you work with is somebody who's very famous on the TV show Shark Tank. So I'm going to kind of just turn it over to you and let you kind of explain to everybody watching.
Well, great, Lisa. Thank you. I am a multi-entrepreneur. So what does that mean? Well, that means that I have a bunch of different businesses. And being a multi-entrepreneur, you have to be able to prioritize and focus. So my main business that I run is Jody Harris, Inc. And I really look at that as being my business that gives back. I love helping women. That's where I have my book company under. I do a lot of mentoring under that huge company. And I do a lot of keynote speaking as well. From that, I have two products. I have one that's actively on the market right now and really doing some great things with Yet Be Gone. That is a non-toxic sanitizing hand sanitizer, and it has over 10 to 12 uses. You know, when you're walking into a supermarket and you're getting your little buggy, you can actually spray this on the handle. And go ahead and just rub your hands on it. It will sanitize it. And guess what? You don't need a wipe. Also, let's say you've been out in the wind, which is very windy here today because the storm's blowing in. And you have flyaway hairs. We all have flyaway hairs. It's just crazy. You spritz that into your hand, rub it around, put it in your hair, and guess what? The flyaways go away. So it's really a multi-use product. And then if you're in a pinch, which, you know, Lisa, I know you travel. I travel all the time as well. And I don't like dirty toilet seats. And I don't like the dirty handles. Some still have the handles that you have to use in a public restroom. I will spray those down. And that is what's so great about this product. But also, your grandkids can use it. Your kids can use it, and it's safe for them. You know, I think it's very important for us as entrepreneurs to bring things to market that are safe for everybody to use and that doesn't have toxins in it. I'm also affiliated with a network marketing company. I love network marketing because it allows me to meet some great people. Plus also I am starting another revenue stream for my companies. That has been huge. So people who want a non-toxic shampoo and conditioner and all the hair care products, they can learn more about Monet, and that's what I share on a daily basis as well. I think those are really my top priority companies that I'm really focusing on these days, but I know I've got my hands in some other businesses, I guess, as more of a hobby, like our competition barbecue team. Now the pit masters are very serious, I can tell you that, but I like to go and have fun. I love the fellowship of our good friends, and I always love making our presentation look nice.
So explain what is a barbecue team, because those of us that are here on the West Coast, I've seen the pictures and I understand it, but can you share a little bit about that? Because I think it's very cool. And how not only is it competitive, but everybody really is good friends with each other too. I mean, it's a fun competition.
It is. We all belong to an organization called KCBS, or Kansas City Barbecue Society. Worldwide, there's probably about 12,000 teams. We have teams that compete in Germany. We have teams down in South America, and then, of course, here in the United States. We're very fortunate here in Oklahoma. We have probably 5 world champions, which is amazing. Yeah. So what we do is we cook brisket, chicken, ribs, and pork butt. And we provide 6 servings to the judges. And you want to give them quality meat that tastes good and that is presented in a fashion where it's appealable to the eye. We usually come in the day before. We all eat together. There's about 40 teams typically at one of these competitions. We do not serve the public. And, we're eating dinner, we're all having a good time, but I can tell you about midnight or 1 a.m. Saturday morning, it's game on for everybody. Everybody takes it serious. We do our last turn in about 1:30. At 3:30, 4 o'clock, we're all friends again, and we're at the wards, and we're cheering everybody on. So it is really an amazing group of people. I can tell you that there's people that are millionaires that are cooking, but you never know it when you're out here visiting with them. So truly a family atmosphere.
It is. I always look forward to your pictures, and my goal for those of you watching is to get Jody on Chopped Barbecue. So one of my favorite shows is on the Food Channel is Chopped. I love it. And they have a barbecue every year. They do a barbecue cook-off. And so my goal is to get Jody Harris onto that Chopped Barbecue competition.
Well, Lisa, you might want to start thinking about cakes.
Cakes?
Putting me on the cake competition. I can't tell too much, but I've got some things in the works, and I'm really looking at possibly being on a cake competition. So
I love that. I'm telling you. So have you cloned yourself like a bazillion times over? I mean, one of the things that as an entrepreneur myself, going on 8 years being an entrepreneur, is, a lot of people only last in the business 1 to 3 years because they give up. And the reason why I wanted to have you on the show today, and I titled the show Never Give Up, is that what is a typical week like for you? Because I want people to know that you can't just sit back and post a daily post on Facebook and then expect business to go up, to show up. You can't join and I totally am supporting women joining other women's networking events. But once again, you're meeting the same people over and over to support, but that's not going to bring in true revenue. Can you walk us through what a Jody Harris week looks like?
Yes, and I'm so glad that you asked this question because I think it's very important. Lisa, I've known you for a while, and as an entrepreneur, it's very important to first have your core. And Lisa, you're in one of my core groups. Kelly Cox is in another core group, and y'all keep me grounded. And I have a few other people, and that is very important. And you need no drama people. You need people who's going to shoot you straight, or you can call up and say, hey, I'm dealing with this. What do you think? It's almost a mentor role, even though I know I call it my core group, but that is very important for you to have in place. And it took me a while to have these group of ladies in place, but I'm so thankful for that. So that's the number one thing. You need to start looking in these circles that you belong to and who are the core women or men that you want in your group. So that's very, very important. Talking about what my typical week is, well, I always start back in January. And in January, I plan out my year. I know what my monthly goals are. I know what my quarterly goals are. I know what I want to hit by June 1st and then by December 31st. From that, I work backwards and I'm looking at the task at hand that I have to achieve to meet those goals. So I'm real big into income producing activities, but to say that, I want you to understand that there's a lot of non-income producing activities that you have to do. And one of those is building relationships. You know, I struggled with that because I come from corporate America and I already had my circle, and I was very comfortable in that. And I really had to stretch and go outside of that circle and start relationships. And Lisa, it's no secret, and I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, I had serious trust issues. And through you and some other individuals, you know, I worked through that. And you're going to see when you're building your core who you can trust. So having a trusting group is very important. Getting out of your comfort zone, setting tasks that are attainable for your goals are very important. And I look at this on a weekly basis. In my phone, I have all of my goals that I am trying to achieve monthly, weekly, and annually. And I read those at least 2 to 3 times a day because I want to make sure that everything I have going on, that I can focus on what I want to get to. I also want all your listeners to know that there's going to be days where you just don't want to do it. You don't, because it can be tough. It can be draining. It can be taxing. I would tell those individuals, write down on a piece of paper what you're struggling with. It could be, I have 3 kids at home. They've been fighting all night. I burnt dinner. My cake fell apart. My husband was exhausted and I wanted to kiss him. He didn't want to kiss me. Well, now I've exaggerated everything going on in my life. I think it's all going to heck, when actually it's just part of life. So write that down and look at it and analyze it. Then go back to your list, which I have to keep on my phone because I'm so mobile. Go back to that list and see what your task is at hand to reach your goal for that week. If you've achieved everything, you might be looking at your monthly goal and what a task that you need to complete, or you need to then look at a task that you need to complete for your monthly goal. But then write that down, and that day that you are struggling, that you're like, I don't know if I can do this, focus on that task. And is that task reaching out and just meeting new people? We all understand that's goodwill. That's all non-income producing activities. Is that task you meeting up with people today, telling them about your product, sharing with them about an opportunity, whatever it is, then that might come into an income producing activity. Also, I think it's very important for entrepreneurs to understand where are the revenue streams. You know, you and I both know there are, and Lisa, you've been at it longer than I have on the entrepreneurial side. Yeah. There are a lot of people out there that jump off and take the huge leap and want to become an entrepreneur, and they put all their time and money, and there's risk involved. But if you do not have a financial supporting system, such as a JOB that you regularly go to, or some other means, your opportunity for success has just been decreased in half. And those are all factual numbers. Yeah. Yep. You know, you talked about Damon John. And Damon John, one thing that he shared with me is, you know, Jody, you're doing the right thing. You haven't quit your day JOB. But you're still working. Because when you go home in the evening, my kids are raised. When I go home in the evening, before I became an entrepreneur, I wasn't productive. I wasn't out working out at the gyms. I wasn't working on me, doing self-development. I wasn't working on a business. So I started thinking what he was telling me was true, because how was I really contributing to society except through my JOB? Yeah. Once I became involved It's very exciting, especially when you're creating and you're making products and you're putting them out into the market. And, you know, another thing I want your listeners to understand, when you're creating and putting a product out to market, you're going to make mistakes. Lisa, I want everybody to know, almost 3 years ago, I put Yet Begun out on the market. Now, I'm a simple-minded person. I think you have a solution, you put it out there, and people are going to buy it, no matter what it looks like. Well, I was in for a rude awakening. That didn't happen. Now, I have not changed one ingredient in my solution. I went to selling maybe 5 a month to when I changed it to the second design of maybe selling 100, 150, maybe 200 a month, to now within 4 months, it hasn't, in 2 months, selling over 10,000.
Yeah.
So I could have quit when I first put the product out there and I wasn't seeing momentum. But it took me a few months to figure out, hey, they like the ingredients, but they don't like the design. So how do I change that? Again, I had to look back and I had to focus. What's my end goal? My end goal was to put it out into the market. But then my feedback was, we really don't like the design. And the bottle is too big. So I went to a smaller bottle, different design. I sold a lot more, but I was still getting that feedback.
Yes.
And I still wasn't achieving my ultimate goal. And that feedback was, we want it smaller and we want a different design. Well, now I've got the small Yet Begons and they're just going crazy, and there's opportunities coming. So never give up on your dreams and passion. It's okay to be discouraged. It's okay to make mistakes, but you have to bring yourself back and you have to be able to focus to remember where you want to be in 3, 6, 9, 12 months.
Yeah. And thank you for sharing about having a job, because so many people they extend themselves so far as an entrepreneur and they're not making it. And then they're relying on their partner, if they have a partner. If not, then they're going into more debt. And there's nothing to be ashamed of for people to have a job and still be an entrepreneur. You can still do 2 things. You know, I am doing a side job that people don't know about because it's an extra revenue stream for me, but I like what it does, and has nothing to do with my day job of being an intuitive business spiritual advisor. It has nothing to do with that. But it's another revenue stream for me, and it's a project that's very close to my heart that I'm working on, and so that's why I want to have you on the show to share that we have revenue streams that aren't exactly tied to our entrepreneur job, you know, of doing that, and I think that we have to talk about it, because people think that they're a failure if they're not all in one or the other, or you're not being true if you really have a job and you're doing that. Yes, you are. You're true to yourself, and you're true to being able to continue to do your vision and your passion, so that one day you will be full-time doing what it is that you do. And thank you for sharing about Yet Begun. You know, you've had to tweak the product, the bottle, the labeling, the package, because I want people to know the Yet Begun has absolutely changed my life, and I take it wherever I go. And matter of fact, Jody had a picture posted of my daughter when I went with my granddaughter to the zoo. You know, come on, the zoo with animal and germs and you know, petting zoos and things like that. What better place to have it? And not only when we went into the restroom and used it, it had the bubble gum. You had like children's scents. And so when I was spraying it in the bathroom for the kids I was watching, the other kids, they're going, what is that smell? And of course, Taylor's like, that's my Yet Begun that Grandma has, and they all wanted it. So I'm going in all these stalls, all these sinks, all these kids washing their hands. I mean, I was like the belle of the ball because I had Yet Begun. So
I love it.
I mean, people, I just want people to know that never give up. Never give up. What else would you like to share with the people that are listening?
You know, I would really like to share with people is to set a goal, set multiple goals. Working a full-time job while you're starting your entrepreneur business. I mean, I'm 5 years in.
Yeah.
It's been 5 years since I became an entrepreneur, and I'm still working my full-time job.
Yeah.
And I am progressing as an entrepreneur, and I know that I'm closer to that day to be able to, where I can retire from my JOB. It's coming up soon.
Yeah.
But you know, you are right, Lisa. There was a time where when I told people I still had my day JOB, they passed judgment. You're not committed. And that's why I'm so thankful that people like Damon John and other people who are out there in the industry, and Barbara even says it. I can never say her last name. Cochran.
I can never say it either, so I'm gonna be quiet.
Barbara C. Can we just call her Barbara C. of the Shark Tanks?
Yeah.
You know, her first thing she tells the companies that she invests in, if there's one or both of them that are still working a full-time job, do not quit.
Yeah.
And I think that's powerful. That almost justifies what we're doing.
Yeah.
And I think that that's very important, because you're going to have those days when you want to give up. You're going to have those days where you're thinking, I cannot make another phone call. I cannot make another connection. I cannot hear the word no again. Well, you know what? Yes, you can. You know, but you have to go back to your basics. You have to go back to your goals. You have to go back to your reason why you're even doing it. What do you want? You know, Lisa, I've shared it with you. I want to travel the world. Okay, the U.S., and then I'll go to Europe and get an RV. But in an RV, but I want the simple life. You know, I'm truly blessed. I'm truly blessed. I had 3 children. You know, I was a teenage mom. I had a horrible marriage the first time, but you know what? I created these beautiful, beautiful children that are grown.
Yeah.
They don't need me 24/7, although we talk every day. It is beautiful. But I could be in Washington State with you, and I can still communicate with them through my phone.
Yeah.
We can still text, and that is the lifestyle I want. I want the simplified lifestyle. You know, get rid of the 2,500 square foot ranch home and go to this. Why? So that I'm out meeting people.
Yeah.
So I'm out encouraging people. You know, if you notice on the Yet Be Gone, they're motivational quotes.
Yeah.
They're simple. Be fearless, be grateful, be bold, be you. Hello, gorgeous. You know, I haven't shared this story, but I actually had a lady contact me. Try not to get emotional here, but she told me she had bought a Yet Be Gone from a boutique who was selling my product, and it said, hello, gorgeous. She said she was going through a horrible time. Her husband had left her, and she had 3 kids at home, and she took the kids to school that day, and she came home, and she thought that that was going to be her last day, whatever reason, and no judging here, especially for me. She said, but in her purse, she had to get something out of her purse. I didn't go into detail. She didn't go into detail, and I didn't ask. But she pulled out my Yet Be Gone. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay. She pulled out my Yet Be Gone, and in that Yet Be Gone, she read the words, hello, gorgeous. And she felt like something was talking to her. Well, you know what? If I can change people's lives like that, then that's exactly what I want to do. We have a hiker that got a hold of me that's going to hike the Appalachian Mountains. And he wanted a Casey Yet Be Gone. And I asked him, I said, a case? I said, you know, what are you doing with this? I thought maybe he was giving it to friends. He said, Jody, he said, you made such a convenient product that's inspirational that I am going to put them all in my backpack because it's only going to add like 2 pounds of weight. And he said, I'm actually going to use those to clean myself because it'll be 3 or 4 days in between showers. So I want people to know, whether you're in network marketing, whether you're taking a market or a product to market, whether you're publishing books or writing books, if you're up in front of a stage and you're a keynote speaker, you're changing people's lives. You might not always know how you're changing people's lives, but you're changing people's lives. And that is the reason you don't give up.
That's beautiful. You had your one of your books recently in Times Square, and what did that feel like? So here's Jody Harris from Oklahoma, and here people are walking in Times Square in New York, and there's your book featured in Times Square. Tell me what that felt like.
I love New York City. I love the passion. I love the excitement. I'm a lights girl. I love the lights at night, especially. And when I received that picture, it was like I had won an Oscar, because I felt so excited, not only for me, but there were 3 other ladies. Kelly Cox, there was Donnie Beckham, there was Judith Inglesby. We were all in that book. Yeah. And at that point in time, someone seen that book. And actually, I think we were up there 3 different times. Yeah. Someone saw that book, somebody purchased that book. And again, it goes back to that book is changing people's lives. And we all understand about visibility. Yeah. You know, we, like you said, we post on social media. We get in our groups. We talk to each other in our groups. But being visible and being out there and being raw and letting people know, just like you and I have in this conversation, yeah, that every day it's not daisies. Yeah. Every day we have the same struggles. You know, this morning I had 14 things I had to do before our interview. Yeah. And when I woke up this morning, I almost put the covers up over my head and said, nope, not going to do it. But you know what? I have a commitment. And I was going to meet all those commitments. And guess what, Lisa? When I broke them down into chunks that I could handle, yeah, I got them done.
Yay! I love it.
I know. And I still have 2 more. And so I really had 16. And I'm going to get those done when we're finished. But it's all about helping others, inspiring others, because we all know that motivation and inspiration is great, but sometimes we need it more than we do some days.
I love it. I know that people are going to be wondering what this book was that was featured in Times Square. So can you share the name of the book and how they can find it? So I know I'm going to get what is the book?
See, guys, don't y'all just love Lisa? Isn't she just amazing? Because she knows that I get so excited and I'm so passionate. She's a fabulous interviewer, and she always brings me back on. So thank you, Lisa. Thank you. The name of the book is The Journey to Never Giving Up. And that's where I share my story, some business advice. Kelly Cox has her 365 affirmations to smile in there, which you can read every day. Judith Inglesby shares her passion of telling and supporting Alzheimer's victims. Her mother, her father, and I believe her grandmother had Alzheimer's, which is really ironic. When I met Judy, my mother was just diagnosed with Alzheimer's. So it's really neat how God brings us all together. And then Donnie Beckham follows up the book, and she inspires us to be a better us on the inside. You know, she has a PhD. She's a dietitian. And she goes through a little bit of her story, but then she also tells us, you know, what foods we should be eating and what we shouldn't be eating and why. Yeah. You know, that's powerful. Her name of her book is Eat, Drink, and Be Married Through Menopause. But the male friend of mine who is the editor, he loved the book so much that he was going to incorporate it. So, you know, people don't have to be going through menopause to enjoy it. No. So why I took all these stories and put them together is because at some point in your life, you're going to need to read about somebody who didn't have a positive background, who didn't have everything going right for them, but survived and never gave up. When you want to give up, you're going to read 365 affirmations to smile. When we're pissed off about the scale going up, 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 and up, you're going to pick up Doneen's part of the book, and you're going to be inspired on what you can eat and what you can do in your life with yoga and some other things that she mentions to help change your life around. And then, you know, when we're caring for aging parents and they're going through Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, whatever it may be, and we don't understand what's going on, you're going to read Judith's amazing story that she shares with us and how she dealt with it. And you're like, wow, all of these people did this and they survived and now they're inspiring me. I can deal with whatever I'm going through. And I think that's powerful.
Yes.
So it's, the journey to never giving up. Sorry, I had a brain lapse there.
That's okay. We're going to do that. When you have 16 things, morning tasks to do before noon and doing the show on top of it, that's good. You're going to have those moments.
Yeah. Well, and I wouldn't have missed this for the world, Lisa. You're truly an amazing professional. I love being on your show. And you know, I've got so much to share. And I know that we only have a short period of time. We have some amazing events. And Lisa, if you need to ring me back in, please do so.
No, go ahead.
I will be in Dallas on May 4th and 5th at an event at the Irving Economic Development Authority. We're going to be on Main Street talking about reviving Main Street. Actually going to have my product there. We are, I'm sorry, I'm not the people putting it on, but I'm participating in it. They're also having a pitch to some HSN celebrities, and you can come and pitch your product, which is so exciting.
Yeah.
Then I'm involved with the Boutique Hub in Dallas, and we're actually going to join about 500 ladies who own boutiques around the U.S. and Canada are going to go to Dallas. And Yet Be Gone is actually a partner with them. So very, very, very excited about that opportunity. And then going to Chicago in July and meeting with some huge buyers about putting Yet Be Gone in their stores. So we've got a lot of exciting things happening.
You do. I am so blessed that you're able to come back on the show, because every time I have you on the show, like, I get tips and tools for myself. That's I'm like, come on, Jody, I got to get her back on. I got to know what's next. And I have been kind of going through a funk the last couple months about what next. You know, do I want to keep going on the same path? And I am so blessed because I've worked so hard to get my business to this point, and it's just like, what next? Like, where do I want to go next? And so you've absolutely inspired myself, and I know the other people that will be listening to the show are going to be inspired too. You know, you've also won an award. I want to give a kudos shout out to you that's equivalent of the Oscars for entrepreneur, and that is the Stevie Award. Can you talk about that and what that meant to you to receive that award?
Wow, I'm still in shock. It's such an honor and a privilege to be recognized by women and men in my field who are doing exactly what I'm doing. You know, the Stevie Award was awarded to me for a new product going into market. And again, that was when I was still in my original form. So I was very proud that the Stevies looked at what I was trying to accomplish. Yeah. They believed in my ingredients, maybe not my design, but they knew that it was a new product that was needed in the market. And so I was so honored when I received that. I actually won it 2 years in a row.
I know.
So, you know, that's further validation. Yay! That's further validation that you're doing what you're supposed to do. Yeah. But you know, I call those my God wings, because sometimes we might go a year without a God wing.
Yeah.
And it's nice when you have that core group that I was talking about that says, you're doing it you're doing great. Or, hey, oh my gosh, I saw that, you're in 2,500 boutiques now, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Just that camaraderie, that connection that you have for people. I say, you being in my core group, my other ladies that are in my core group, that's just as exciting as winning the Stevie Award. But the Stevie Award was telling me that the marketplace was definitely recognizing that I had something and I've taken it to market. I always go back to two people, or one company and one person. Warren Buffett. I love Warren Buffett. And Warren Buffett had a paper route from the time he was 12 or 13 years old, maybe even 10, all the way up till he went to college. But that was Warren Buffett's JOB.
Mm-hmm.
But Warren Buffett was also an entrepreneur. And he learned at an early age how to make small investments between him and his father and some of his father's friends. He also knew that he could take pop bottles back and make money. And he actually had about 5 different businesses that he was running at the early age of 13, 14, and 15. So I think that that is a wonderful example for us to look back on such a powerful man's life. And, he had a JOB for a very long time, which was delivering papers. But he was also an entrepreneur, and he was building himself a revenue stream that continued and continued. And of course, today we know him, and whatever he does in the market, everybody else wants to do in the market. Another thing that I'm reminded of is Coca-Cola. I can remember when Coca-Cola came out and their first designs, and how they had to switch from design, and a lot of backlash that they received over a lot of different things over the years, and how they've overcome that, and how they're focusing now on taking the Coke, the I can't remember what's in Diet Coke. It starts with an A, but anyway. Taking that ingredient, that's it. Yeah. See, I was going to say something way crazier, but how they're focusing on taking that out of the Diet Coke, and they now have a bottling company, Dasani. Dasani is a Coca-Cola product.
Yeah.
And so I really find it ironic how these large corporate companies that employ thousands and thousands of people shift with the market and where the trends are going. And so me as an entrepreneur, the first time I had to redesign Yet Begone, I felt defeated. I felt like I had made a big mistake. And then I read a book that talked about the Coca-Cola process and what they've been through over now it's more than that, 70, 80 years, yeah, and how they work through that. I thought, that's okay. If I have to change my packaging 100 times, it's okay, because Coca-Cola's already been there, and look at what a huge conglomerate they are. Yep. And so I think as you and anyone else starting out in the entrepreneur world needs to realize is you're going to have to adjust. Yeah. And you're going to have to be strong enough to take no. And the days that you don't want to get out of bed, the days that you feel defeated, you've got to have enough self-development work that you've been doing over time to get you over that hump, or you better be picking up the phone and calling your core group of people. I think that is very important for all entrepreneurs going forth in this economy that we're building.
Yeah.
We know that a lot of the stores are not going to be there next year. We know a lot of them are going out of business. We know a lot of them are losing money. They're bleeding. They're in the red. How do we combat that? Where are you going to be buying your groceries from? Where are you going to be getting your outfits from? How are you going to be building relationship with someone like you, Lisa, that's 1,600 miles away from me? Yep. How am I going to calculate that on my balance sheet, my income statement, and my expenses? We look at, and I've been in corporate America banking for 30 years. We look at financial statements to tell a story. Well, I'm starting to start the conversation that, things that we looked at 20 years and made sound, logical, financial decisions on aren't exactly what we need to be looking at now. We don't need to be looking at income trends because you don't know how the market affected it. We don't need to be looking at debt. Debt a lot of times you can use to bring in additional capital. People don't understand that.
Yeah.
I think the way that we used to look at credit reports, the way we used to look at financial statements and tax returns is changing the way how we're even doing business, how we can capitalize on capital. And no, you don't have to know all the ins and outs, but you have to be able to have a core group that, hey, if I need to run something by somebody, who do I pick up the phone and who do I talk with? And so it's really understanding how the markets change and are you changing with the market?
Yeah. Valuable information, valuable. How can people find you? And you've talked a lot about Yuck Be Gone. How can people find Yuck Be Gone and Jody Harris?
Well, great. Well, they can go to, we have an amazing website up now, Yuck Be Gone, and I want to spell it because we did a play on words. It is YUKBGONE.com. We have an amazing website that's out there. We even sell wholesale. As I alluded to, we're in quite a few boutiques nationwide and in Canada. Jody Harris Inc., I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. If you want to send me a message, go to my website, jodyharrisinc.com, and that's Jody with a Y, Jody, harrisinc.com. And if you know Lisa, get a hold of Lisa. Tell her that you watch this show and say, hey, how do I get a hold of Jody? She will definitely put you in contact with her.
I will be happy to make the connection. Thank you so much. I know you've got a bazillion things on your plate to handle today. I so appreciate you coming on the show, and I hope to have you back again soon because you just keep bringing information. I got to take notes. So thank you, Jody, for coming on.
Thank you so much. Maybe we're going to have a lunchtime break, 15, 20, 30 minutes, and while people's eating their lunch, they can tune into us, or because you've got valuable information too. Yeah. Or maybe we'll have coffee and tea or something. I would love to do that with you sometime.
Oh, that would be fun. That would be fun to do a lunchtime chat. And people can find, for those of you who would like to see the shows, you can go to YouTube and type in Lisa Lamont 100. I have my past episodes with Jody, and I've also had Donine on my show, and I've had Kelly Clayton Cox on my show. So if you go to Lisa Lamont 100 on YouTube, you can see all my shows there. So thank you, Jody, for coming on, and thank you, everybody, for listening and watching today. I appreciate it, and I will be back next week. Everybody, have a wonderful, wonderful week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.